Okay. So good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and start. I hope everyone is still maintaining their safety and good health. And this is my first time here back at City Hall in a while, so it just feels it's an interesting feeling right now. I first I want to just kind of do. There's going to be some things put up on the screen in a minute, but I'm just going to start the opening of the hearing. It's just some directions for attendees. We're going to start with members of the committee. I Chair Sharon Green Middleton. We also have Vice Chair Danielle McCrae from the 2nd District representing us.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We also have Councilman Costello of the 11th District, member of the committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And as noted, I'll be recusing myself on the UMB Rise Zone vote.
Well noted.
Thank you, ma'am.
And we also have member of the committee, Robert Stokes of the 12th District.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Good morning. And we also have sponsor of this bill, Councilman John Bullock of the 9th District.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Also representing the mayor's office, we have Matt Stegman.
Madam Chair.
And also you see on the screen just some attendee directions for public testimony. And basically, I'll just go through this. Number 1, committee staff will coordinate the public testimony. Please be patient. Number 2, if you are connecting online, please use the raise hand function to indicate that you wish to testify. Number 3, each speaker must state their name prior to speaking. Number 4, users who call in cannot be identified by name and will be unmuted by the host one by one. If you do not wish to testify, please say so when you are unmuted. And number 5, attendees will hear 2 beeps when they are unmuted. Please state your name at the beginning of your testimony. And then lastly, if a speaker is inaudible, they will be directed to call back or provide their testimony in the chat function. So now we'll move on with the first bill. This morning, the Taxation, Finance, and Economic Development Committee will have a hearing for bill number 20-0503R, University of Maryland at Baltimore approving application for designation as a RISE zone, granting enhanced local property tax credit for the purpose of approving the submission of the application from the University of Maryland at Baltimore, a qualified institution under the state's Regional Institution Strategic Enterprise Zone, better known as the RISE Zone program, approving and joining in the application for designation of a RISE zone along with West Baltimore Street, etc. The bill was introduced on February 24th, 2020. The bill was sponsored by Councilman John Bullock. And at this time, we'll take comments from the sponsor.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, committee members and everyone else in attendance. As Councilman Costello could also attest, University of Maryland, Baltimore has really been a great partner in the community as an anchor institution and someone who really does significant work within our community. Really, I just wanted to sponsor this in terms of supporting their application, which could have some great future dividends in our community. We're looking at future neighborhood investment and improvement along West Baltimore Street. And as you know, it's a major thoroughfare, a major corridor that can really use a breath of fresh air and some renewed life. So again, I thank you for the consideration. Again, University of Maryland, Baltimore has been a great partner, and hopefully we'll have support and a positive outcome on this bill. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. Now we'll have agency reports, and we'll hear from the agency representatives. We do have Elena DePedro from the City Solicitor's Office. We also have Eric Tiso from the Department of Planning. We have Stephanie Murdoch from the Department of Housing and Community Development. We have Jane Knightston from the Department of Real Estate. And we have Colin Tarbert from the Department, from the Baltimore Development Corporation. And we have Pedro Aponte from the Department of Finance. And we'll start with Colin Tarbert from BDC. Hi, Colin. Unmute yourself, Colin. Colin. Oh, hi. Oh, okay.
I'm working on unmuting one.
Oh, okay. We can hear you. I can hear you.
Did it go?
Yes. Can everyone hear? Put your hand up if you can hear Colin.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good. You're on.
Okay, so I think my bandwidth is a little slow, so I apologize if I'm choppy.
That's fine. You sound
Okay.
fine.
I'll be brief, and I apologize. I have to also join the mayor and Councilman Costello for the Small Business Task Force. So I'll be brief, but we do have BDC representatives on the phone as well. BDC Ira Caller is here with Nikki Davis. So BDC is in full support of the RISE zone.
Oh, thank you so much.
Can you hear me, Councilwoman?
Yes. You're going to do what? Yes, yes, hold on one second.
Maybe I can call
Go
him.
to the BDC rep. Can we go to the BDC rep? Which is Colin. He just finished. Ira?
Yeah, I'm here as well. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Did you want to try again, Colin? Looks like you're still unmuted. If you want to give it one more go there. If not, I'm happy to jump in here.
Are there any questions to the Baltimore Development Corporation?
I'll try. If you can hear me.
Oh, go ahead. We can hear you both.
All right, I'll just jump in here. We've worked closely with this
It's
team
okay.
to work on this.
I think
this
my computer's a little slow, so it's a little challenging. So I'll just say we're full support of the bill.
Okay. Ira, did you have anything else to add?
Yep, we're in full support. We've worked closely with the state and with the team on this this resolution and application, and we're excited to move forward.
Thank you. Eric Tiso with the Department of Planning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Planning has no objection, defers to BDC.
And now we'll move to Mr. Pedro with the City Solicitor's Office.
Good morning, Madam Chair. The City Solicitor's Office approves the bill. We feel it's the appropriate method to support the joint application of the City and UMAB to be a participant.
Thank you. And Department of Real Estate, Mr. Knighton.
Good morning. Jim Knighton from the Comptroller's Office on behalf of the Department of Real Estate. Department of Real Estate stands by its report, which is no objection to the bill.
And the Department of Housing and Community Development, Stephanie Murdoch.
Hi, good morning. Stephanie Murdoch, Department of Housing and Community Development. DHCD stands by our report in support of the bill.
And Department of Finance, Mr. Aponte.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Pedro Aponte, Finance Department. the Department of Finance does not oppose to the legislation. I just want to give you a brief report on what we put together as a fiscal impact. The right zone is within what is called the enterprise zone, and also, or the proposed right zone is within the enterprise zone or focus area. That means that any project within that location is already will be entitled to the enterprise zone, which is 80% tax credit for 10 years if it's in the focus area. This is a standard situation for any project in that area. What this legislation is gonna do is gonna potentially increase the tax credit cost for the first 5 years to 100% of the improvement value, and then the right zone is not re-certified. It's gonna take piggyback with the existing enterprise zone. So I just want to say that the proposed legislation will increase the cost of the tax credit for 5-year period in a cumulative value of $2.2 million. That's for the phase one of this project. There are going to be other phases eventually moving forward, but the information we have right now is phase one, and that will cost the city additional $2 million. I just want to say it because that's the estimate fiscal impact to the city for this legislation. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any question.
Okay, and I do want to recognize, I see Councilman Leon Pinkett has joined us as well. And also President Scott has joined us, and also I did see Councilwoman Sneed has joined us. Are there any questions from the committee so far on this bill? At this time, the committee will now take public. The council members that have joined in, do you have any questions on this RISE zone bill? Okay, thank you. We'll now take public testimony. I'm going to recess for 2 seconds, and then we'll take public testimony. You have the list?
Yep, I got it.
Okay. Do I have to say their name? Oh, okay. Okay, so I do have a list of public testimony, and so some of you that were not at the very beginning, we did have some rules to follow, but I just want to mention that I'm going to start with the people that have called in, and anyone that has public testimony, when you're unmuted, you'll hear 2 beeps. And then if you don't want to testify, you just acknowledge that you don't want to testify. Or if you're testifying, you can go ahead and testify at that time. So again, we're starting with the people that have called in. Caller number 5.
This is Nikki Davis. I'm part of the BDC team. Already responded to the bill.
Okay, thank you. Caller number 6. Caller number 6, are you there? Okay, we'll move on to caller number 8. Caller number 8. Nothing for caller number 8. Caller number 9. Caller number 9. Gregory Herlog.
Yes, I'm here. I guess I'll go ahead. I think my colleague Jane Schaub from UMB is on as well. I'm not sure if she's one of the callers that you that you mentioned, but I'll let her chime in. Just want to say, Madam Chair and members of the committee, thank you. We did circulate a presentation, I believe. I'm not sure if you had received that or had a chance to review, but we did include some images of the proposed building. My name is Greg Herlong. I'm with Westford Science and Technology. We are the developer of the 4 MLK project. We've also developed a couple of the existing lab office buildings within the biopark, 800 and 801 West Baltimore Street, as well as the parking garage down the street at 1 North Poppleton. I will highlight our specific project. This is the next lab office building to be constructed within the biopark. It does have an MLK address. So again, the project is called 4 MLK. It's within the proposed RISE district. It's a 300. It's a multi-phase project. The first phase is a 330,000 square foot lab office building, renovation of a firehouse, streetscape improvements around the entire site, as well as a additional parking garage to support the project. We're really excited. We think this project will make a statement along Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We'll also support continued growth within the biopark. We are 100% leased. We've had some great success stories. The most recent one with Paragon Bioservices was acquired by Catalent. Catalent, Paragon employ about 1,000 employees within the state. Many of those are in our buildings here in Baltimore, and we are out of space at the moment. And so this building, as well as the future phases, would support continued growth for companies like Paragon. I'd also point out, and in your presentation, you'll see the economic impact of this phase 1 project, with additional economic impact as we develop the future phase here. But it's significant, and we are relying on this RISE zone to support the project and to support our tenant base. So happy to answer any specific questions that the committee members may have.
Any questions at this point from the committee? No questions? Thank you. The next testimony is from Ian Round. Ian Round, are you there? The next person, James Hughes.
Madam Chair, Ian Round is listed as an attendee, but he wasn't unmuted. He will need to be unmuted to be able to speak.
Okay. We'll go back to Ian Round. Are you there? You're unmuted, Mr. Brown. You can speak. Hello? Ian Round, you're unmuted. We'll go ahead to James Hughes. James Hughes.
Good morning, Madam Chair. James Hughes, Head of Economic Development for the University of Maryland, Baltimore. And I'd just like to say thank you very much for considering this bill. It's very important to the university, and we're excited about what will result from it. So thank you.
Thank you. Jane Schaub. Jane Shab.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Good morning.
Thanks very much to you and the committee for hearing our bill this morning. I have a couple of key points, and if it's in the can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's in the presentation, and I thank you for paying attention to that as well. The UM Biopark is the west wing of the University of Maryland Baltimore campus. We stretch along West Baltimore Street, as Councilperson Bullock said, from MLK to Schroeder Street. We've been developing there for 15 years. We enjoy $450 million of new investment in that part of Baltimore City over these 15 years. We currently have 1,200 jobs, people coming there every day to work. We, in addition to the site that Mr. Herlong described, which we're excited about at MLK in West Baltimore, we have 5 other sites in the biopark ready to go. And we're constantly marketing those sites to investors, to good companies to come in and be part of Baltimore, to expand in Baltimore. A key piece here for the RISE legislation, companies come to the biopark because they want to partner with UMB, with the university. And the RISE legislation enables us to enhance that tool, enhance that attractive catalyst to those companies. And we thank you for your kind consideration of this.
You are welcome. Any questions thus far from the committee? Is there another? And then last is John Laria. John Laria.
Yeah. Madam Chair, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
In fact, I had wasn't sure if everybody would be able to be heard, and I knew who was to testify. So I do not need to testify, and I also want to demonstrate that I don't always need to speak. So thank you very much, and very much appreciate your attention to this.
Thank you. So okay, at this point, there's no more testimony. And if the committee is satisfied, do I have someone that would like to make the motion for a vote? So moved. So moved by Councilman Stokes.
Second.
Second by Vice Chair McCray. Chair Middleton, yes. Vice Chair McCray?
Yes.
Yes. Councilman Costello recuses himself. Councilman Reisinger is absent. Councilman Stokes? Yes. Yes. This bill is approved and it'll come out at the next council meeting, which is scheduled for May 11th. And at this time, we have adjourned this bill. Thank you all.